Hello everyone, and today we are going to be attempting again to explore a scenario where civilization started over. About 10 minutes ago, I was just recording this, realized one of my keybinds was wrong, and so I had accidentally stopped the recording about 3 times through the video, so now we are restarting, but because I already have a general storyline in play ready, we will thankfully be able to get through this first few minutes a lot quicker. With that out of the way, let's begin. So the first recorded humans in who have kind of a government in this universe formed down in Yemen, kind of a little bit in Africa, in kind of Eritrea, but obviously they don't really have much control over it. That's just kind of its own little thing. As rapidly this pink country, the Yemen people, if that's what we're going to call them, expand up the Persian Gulf. And we're just going to size up the brush here because they kind of become the de facto owners of the entire Arabian Peninsula, as they have a small water connection there, kind of unlock the entire Persian Gulf with small wooden boats. Not really for much further travel you're going to be able to make here, but they do kind of explore some of their coastline, kind of understand more what the seas are like around them. But now we have our first nation breaking away. It's the Orange Nation over in I'm on the wrong layer. We have the Orange Nation over in kind of Iran, Kuwait. They kind of break away, and they have the similar ideas to the Pink Nation, but they are much to the extreme. This Orange Nation does rapid expansion north to kind of discover the Caspian Sea. They make it up until the Caucasus Mountains before they kind of stop exploring further towards Turkey through kind of Kurdistan area. They continue their expansion over towards Syria and those areas, kind of meeting up with the Pink Country, but they continue their exploration over towards Turkey, as now the Pink Country continues their expeditions over through the Sinai Peninsula, I believe, um, over into Egypt, kind of down the coast of Sudan, controlling some of this Nile area. But then we have the first major kind of explorations, as that's completely wrong. We have the Pink Country kind of exploring the entire coast of Africa up through Tunisia. They kind of see Sardinia and Sicily. They don't really confirm anything of it though. But the Orange Country does confirm the world of a lot, as they basically explore around the entire Black Sea, as they kind of explore this whole Black Sea area. And then they discover down into Greece where they see the Italian peninsula. So when they explore up here, they kind of discover, oh, this is what the Pink Country was talking about. Now, the Orange Country, they love exploring, and they explore pretty far north into Europe. And they think, man, this is a lot of land. They haven't run into any water until they hit the Kaliningrad kind of Poland, Lithuania area. And that's when they stop, realizing they must have reached the end of whatever massive landmass they've hit. Now, as kind of a nomadic society, wanting to kind of keep moving in life, like I said, they kind of explore all of Turkey and all these islands in Greece, kind of taking over the Greek areas, as their ships obviously having to bounce between these islands, kind of explores all these waters kind of around the Black Sea, all of that, over to Cyprus, and then through here, and a connection up to Cairo, or not Cairo, the Nile Delta, because they still want to keep contact with the Pink Nation. As now we have a third nation forming, just kind of some people from wrong layer again, from both nations here, wanting to just make their own thing, wanting to kind of exist. They kind of buff out some borders right there to just make things better. But now, as the kind of Turkish Empire, you could say now, continues expanding, um, their capital has long moved, likely to where modern day Constantinople is, but there's still a lot of people living in the main Turkey area, or in the main land where this country started, and that's where we get our second country. As we see it, kind of anything really outside of Turkey and stuff kind of breaks away to form a new nation that wants to kind of stay put, stay in this area. So the lighter pink nation breaks away from this nomadic orange country who continues their rapid expansion. When I emphasize, like, obviously the timeline might be a little finicky, but I'd say in maybe 10 years, they went from that little spot in Iran all the way over to the Balkans. They have done nothing but move. And they continue this trend by kind of going up into Crimea and whatnot, and then they discover over into Italy. However, the people who kind of settled into Italy, they really like Italy. They don't want to leave here, so we see another new nation form up through Italy, kind of down the Croatian coastline, of people who just don't want to leave this area. They realize, man, this place looks good. They want to stay here. And that's kind of the trend with a lot of these people over here. We see a new kind of Albanian nation take shape, and then we see kind of a Bosnian, I guess you could say, Bosnia nation form as blue up here. And then finally, the Turks. The Turks, when like I said, that's where the capital used to be. And it has moved up to kind of like there. There's still a lot of people living here in, Constantinople, Istanbul, who are tired of the nomads, and they break away. As now, the once one big empire that stretched from Iran to Italy has now broken into 6 different countries. Has had 5 countries break away from it, making 6 countries in this area. So now, kind of the expansion from the nomads stop. They kind of settle down, at least for now, as we see the Yemen, the beginning country, the pink country, exploring, kind of occupying all this land that they had explored. But then, across the sea, they see Sicily. Now, they're not sure if that's, occupied, so they go on a maiden voyage, kind of establishing this pink nation as, I can't think of a reference of who I'm trying to think of, the old version of, the colonial city area, and they explore up the Italian coast. They discover Albania, and then they discover all through the Adriatic, and then that's when they meet Rome. And then they also discover, Corsica, Sardinia. Now the thing is with these two, Rome and the Pink Nation, the Red and Pink Nation, Pink Nation thinks, oh, Red Nation's up in the northern part away from this island. We can get a fair amount of land over here. So we're gonna set up a few ports along our coast, get some people to move out, and they do. They get to Sicily, they spread up Naples, but then here they reach a problem. In the probably few years it's been since they talked to Rome last, or the Red Country has expanded down the rest of the Italian peninsula. Pink Country doesn't like that, but unfortunately, they're not really able to do anything with that, as the people in their original lands in Yemen have kind of broken away. The kind of everyone in the original area before they started wildly expanding breaks away to form this Cyan team. So now the Pink Nation is kind of having to try and make peace with this Cyan country. They're probably not going to be able to beat them because a lot of their military has kind of broken away and left. And that's not all for the Pink country, as we see another part of their land break away. It's the Tunisian area, which takes Sicily with them. This area breaks away, and they kind of occupy all of like Libya as their own. Because to be fair, they control the navy. This area, this bit of land, this is where all the navy is. They set up in Tunisia, Libya, maybe a bit of Egypt, but other than that, they don't really have any boats anywhere. So they have the superiority, and the Pink country is kind of forced to submit to any demands that these people might have. Now we return to a little bit of exploration. The green country that has recently broken away kind of explores down the African coast, reaching Iberia. They send some people across, and they reach Rome once more, and they kind of discover the entirety of the Iberian Peninsula, how that little bit of area exists. Kind of more expansion. The entire Caspian Sea has been kind of unlocked, kind of explored, as really anyone in the area who lives over here has probably traveled through the Mediterranean, through the Caspian. They probably know what all this water is like. And I'm even going to be a bit generous. We're going to say that that's all been explored. So really any waters that isn't a major ocean, people know it. They don't care. So now, Orange Country. I had said that they're done. They're not anymore. They continue, knowing that there is a massive body of water to the north. They make rapid expansions, trying to occupy all this area. And they do. They get up to Kaliningrad. Again, as we know, as we've seen with the trends with this country, smaller little pieces kind of break away the further away this country gets. We see a big one in kind of Romania, Bulgaria, as those people, that bit of orange area has been around since they were in Turkey. So those people, they definitely aren't too happy about having left. So they kind of occupy all of that. And then finally we see kind of, I think this is like a Hungarian country, a brown forming. Sorry, not finally. And then we also see like a true Romanian country forming. And so now this orange country has basically moved from being Middle Eastern to Polish. They have moved so far in this short bit of time that they don't really have a stable country. And a lot of people, that's going to become very evident soon. But now this kind of Carthaginian country is kind of what this is reminding me of. They kind of do what the Pink people did, except better, and they fully occupy much of the coast of what they've explored, taking over Majora, Minorca. They take Sardinia. Unfortunately, the red kind of Italy country beat them to Corsica. They are not able to take over that one. As we see the Pink country making the daring journey across the Caucasus Mountains over through Azerbaijan, over through Georgia, and they actually go meet up with this new Crimean country. But that's not for long, as we see another new country breaking away. It's kind of a Syrian country. It's small, but these people, they are nothing alike with all these people through here. Purple country, we see the first true war, as this purple country, this yellow bit, Greece, Crete, basically all of the Europe side except for this city, which is, basically just Constantinople, as we established, breaks away. Even a little bit of, the southern Turkey area breaks away, believing, we're just different. You guys can have Asia, we can have Europe. But the purple country doesn't approve of this. And they are stronger. So, the purple country, or is this really purple? I don't know. Tell me if I'm being dumb. Kind of pushes them out. They kick them off the islands. They have the better navy. But what they're unaware of is that this Albanian country has kind of gone in and stolen a large amount of this land. And they're realizing when they get there and they see Albanians in Greece, they're like, what just happened? And they find out that the reason they were doing so well is because the Greeks were being held up by the Albanians, but the Albanians aren't really looking to fight with the Turks, and the Turks aren't really looking to fight with the Albanians. So it's kind of a stalemate for now. The war is definitely not over. Turkey is still mad about having lost Greece, but there's not really much they can do about it. So instead, they turn their eyes south and invade and annex that blue country. And we see in the main, the first country, the Egypt part of this country has began to just fully leave. But the pink country now, they're fed up with this. They've had 3 countries break away in honestly a very short span of time, maybe 10 years. They fight back getting up to the Sinai Peninsula, but this like lilac color country is able to hold their own on this small little gap, and unfortunately the original pink country not really able to do anything. Now we see the orange country. They send out a voyage. They send out a voyage across this water, discovering an island, and then they discover what is now modern day, Sweden. They kind of explore the coast of it a bit. They discover Denmark, they go up, they discover Norway. However, something they learned about this area, it's cold. Most of their people are, Middle Eastern still. So the Middle Eastern based country, they're not going to really survive in cold climates. But some daring adventurers head out on boats in droves and establish a country on this island before kind of fully settling in on Sweden, making the first Scandinavian nation. Now we see a new nation forming over in kind of Portugal, the Lisbon area. Kind of just some immigrants of the green, Carthaginian country. They left because they don't really want to be in this expeditionary government. They want to settle down, they want to live. This is kind of why the countries, like the pink country and the orange country, have kind of fallen. They haven't really survived in the modern in the long-term scale of things. They definitely have done a lot wrong. But then we see another new nation up in kind of the Catalonia, northern Aragon area. Kind of with the same motives as them, but they kind of take over the Pyrenees Mountains, blocking off the expedition from the, Carthage country. They're not too annoyed about that. They understand they've kind of grown, they've kind of outstretched, and worry actually within the government of the Green Country of rebellions potentially in Sardinia and Sicily cause higher control over the area. But Rome, having, mostly been blocked by the Alps, they finally make their expeditions north. And with rumors of cold lands to the north, they end up actually meeting up with the explored lands of the Orange team, and they discover basically the entire rest of kind of Western Europe. Off in the distance, they see land. They see land. They're not really able to get there. They're not confident there is land. And soon rumors of this land die down, and it's kind of undiscovered in a sense. Right here, people swear there's an island out there, but the explorers kind of lose that thought, having to return home to Rome. As Rome, making the journey crossing the Alps in one point. However, the thing is, those people, they know they're not going to stay part of Rome, and so up in the north, up in, France, they establish their own governments, and I already have kind of a pinkish country. So the lime green France, lime green France establishes themselves with the hopes of one day getting to this magical island off in the distance. Now, we've kind of neglected, so far today, this pink country. They were the second country ever the third. We've kind of neglected them, like I said. They haven't really done much, even though they were like I said, the second country. Even though they were the third country, they make one of the longest expeditions out there, discovering the Horn of India, a massive exploration that way, just paving the way for a whole new culture and religion to pop up. As now, I think this is a good place to leave off. We've established some early storylines, some different settings, the main countries we're going to see throughout at least these first beginning episodes, assuming maybe they'll live forever, but it's not too likely we'll see these countries stay around forever. As now, I will hopefully see you all in part 2. If you want to see more of this, go ahead, like, and subscribe.